All right, guys, so in this section, part 1, in this section 6.4, we've done the previous practice problem. You have to finish it. You have x equal negative square root of 1 minus x squared, and you need to express the value of x. So I'll let you do that by yourself. And I'm going to work with you completely the problem number 5. The arc sinus 2x plus arc sinus x equal pi over 2. So first of all, I'm going to isolate one argument, and I'm going to write, let me modify my pen. There we go. There we go. So now it should be okay. So what do we have? We have arc sinus of the angle 2x, and it's going to be equal to pi over 2 minus arc sinus of the angle x. Or I could also have arc sinus of the angle x equal pi over 2 minus arc sinus of the angle 2x. Let's try to take the second one. There is no differences. So if I do the second one, I'm going to multiply by sinus both sides. And if I do the sinus both sides, I'm going to have the sinus of arc sinus of the angle x, and right here pi over 2 minus arc sinus of the angle 2x. Arc sinus of the angle x, I know it's going to be equal to x, and now what I have is the angle theta equal at pi over 2 minus arc sinus 2x. So I'm going to use the sine difference formula. So using the sine difference formula, using the sine difference formula, I end up to have sinus pi over 2 cosinus of the angle arc sinus of the angle 2x minus cosinus pi over 2 multiplied by the sinus of arc sinus of the angle 2x. Oops. All right. So what is sinus pi over 2? Sinus pi over 2 equal 1. Multiplied by the cosinus of arc sinus 2x minus cosinus pi over 2, I know it's equal to 0, multiplied by x, multiplied by 2x, because the sinus arc sinus 2x equal to x. You should know that now, the reason why. And so you end up at the end of the day to say that x equal, just get rid of the 1 time is the same thing, so cosinus of arc sinus of the angle 2x minus 0, so that's the answer. And now we need to recall something. Okay, so we are right here, but we're not done because I try to solve for x. So we need to recall that cosinus of arc sinus of x of 2x is equal to the square root of 1 minus 2x squared. Okay? Or if I wanted to recall, I would recall first of all, because we have done that already. We have done this. And so therefore, you can expand to the angle 2x and definitely say that x is equal to the square root of 1 minus, but instead to have x, we have 2x, so it's going to be 1 minus 2x squared. So x squared is going to be equal to 1 minus 2x squared. The square root disappears when I square both sides. Now I end up to have x squared equal 1 minus 4x squared. Therefore, I end up to have 5x squared equal 1. And so x squared equal 1 over 5. So we end up to have x equal plus or minus the square root of 1 over 5, which is 1 plus or minus square root of 1 over 5. And if plus or minus 1 over square root of 5. And if I want to get rid of the square root of 5 on my denominator, I end up to have plus or minus square root of 5 divided by 5. Okay, so I have two possible values. Now, if I want to check, I can totally check. Okay, so if I want to check my answer, which is always good to do if you have some time to spare at the end, if you take the arc sinus of 2 multiplied by square root of 5 divided by 5 plus the arc sinus of square root of 5 divided by 5 equal pi over 2, you end up to have around 1.107, some numbers, plus 0.464. Will it be equal approximately to pi over 2? Well, yes, because that is about 1.571, and this is approximately equal to pi over 2, which is 1.571. Okay? You could also check for, let me do that on this side. If I check for a value of x equal negative square root of 5 divided by 5, what do we end up to have is on the left side of your equation, you have negative 1.571 approximately equal to 1.571. And that's a contradiction. Right here we will be having a contradiction. Therefore, we cannot take x equal negative square root of 5 divided by 5. So x equal negative square root of 5 divided by 5 is not a solution. So the only solution is x equal plus square root of 5 divided by 5. What I just did with you right here is what you are supposed to do for the previous calculation, and I hope you did it. If you didn't do it, please try to do it again, and you will see it's pretty easy. Okay, so I think I covered pretty much everything I wanted to cover. I wish you good luck. Work very hard, but again, we are at the end of the semester, and I think pretty much now you should be comfortable with the content, and I will talk to you later in class. Bye-bye.